Nellie Bly. I'm a girl, deal with it. Nellie Bly and her journalistic abilities ended up taking her into the heart of an insane asylum around the world in record time and did all kinds of strikes for women, poor, and the workers. Her non-journalistic abilities helped her invent the 55-gallon drum. Her work led to poor reforms, women's rights, asylum reforms, and work and union reforms. Nellie Bly was born with the name Elizabeth Jane Cochran. She entered this earth on May 5, 1864 in Cochran Mills, Pennsylvania. Today this would just be known as Pittsburgh. Her father Michael purchased the mill to teach his children what hard work could bring. She had a nickname Pinky. Her creative peers concocted the name because she enjoyed adorning that color. In 1880, Bly was angered by a column in the Pittsburgh Dispatch. Her anger grew so fierce she responded in a letter to the editor under the pen name Lonely Orphan Girl. Impressed with her writing, the columnist offered her a job, but upon realizing her gender, retracted that offer. Fortunately, with her smooth talking, she secured her job. Because of her feminine qualities, Bly found herself having to adopt a pen name. She decided upon Nellie Bly after a song written by Stephen Foster. Originally, the spelling was with a Y, however the editor changed it to an IE. Bly was forced into doing standard women's sections at the paper: fashion, society, and gardening. Angered with this work, she traveled to Mexico. For about half a year, she reported on the lives of the people in the area. After protesting a journalist's imprisonment, Bly fled the country on threats of her own imprisonment. In 1887, Bly traveled to New York and talked her way into the office of Joseph Pulitzer. She obtained a job at the paper New York World. Bly was committed enough to her job to be committed. To investigate on what was really happening in the insane asylums, she entered the Women's Lunatic Asylum posed as a patient. During her time spent there, she got a true insight on the atrocities happening day in and day out to the patients. The food was practically inedible, very minimal security was ensured, and hygiene was asking way too much. The caretakers were also abusive and abrasive. Upon exit, she published 10 Days in a Madhouse. This uproar from her book caused courts to spring into action for reformation. Her proposals helped shape the insane asylums into actual care facilities instead of a nightmare of a daycare. In 1888, Bly proposed an idea to her editor. She wanted to take a trip around the world as fast as possible and attempt to beat the 80-day record. Once again, her gender came into play. Her editor liked the idea, just not a woman doing it. However, her spunk prevailed and she was allowed to make her journey. A competing paper, The Cosmopolitan, sent its own reporter the opposite way around the world to try and beat Bly. Throughout her trip, the New York World held a betting contest to guess Bly's arrival. The winner would get a trip to Europe. She made it back in 73 days, 6 hours, 11 minutes, and 40 seconds. In 1895, Bly retired from journalism and married Robert Seaman. He was a millionaire manufacturer. During this time, she became president of Ironclad Manufacturing Co. Throughout her time as president, she dabbled in inventing. This interest helped further secure her place in history as the creator of the 55-gallon drum. Bly was given a half-Japanese baby at the request of its mother. When Bly started getting sick, she passed off care of the baby to her niece. In 1922, she died of pneumonia in New York City at age 57. She was buried in the Bronx.